Hi there and welcome back again. In this lesson, we'll learn how to connect to MySQL database using PHP built-in functions and how to use the create operations for creating, reading, updating, and deleting records in MySQL database. So let's get started. Establishing a connection to MySQL server and MySQL database for making operations on data needs first using the following PHP built-in function MySQL I connect. This function takes 4 parameters as a string: the server name, username, password, and database name. The server name is localhost or machine name that MySQL server is existed in, and they can use the IP address instead of the name of your machine in your connection. The username is the authenticated user that has permission to connect to the MySQL server and the database. The password is the credential of the username for accessing the MySQL server and the database name. And the database name is the name of the MySQL database server you want to connect to it. Let us see an example. In this example, we have passed all connections information to MySQL server and database to the MySQL I connect. Then we have used the PHP die with MySQL I error function in the event there is an error and PHP cannot connect to the server. It will display an error message. Else PHP will continue processing and connecting to the MySQL database server. And finally, closing a connection with the MySQL server and database by using the MySQL I close PHP built-in function. It is a good practice to close any connection at the end of any processing with MySQL server and database. This function takes only one parameter, the connection name of MySQL server and the database, which holds all the information about MySQL server connection. After we connect it to the database, we need to make some operations on data like retrieve, insert, update, and delete, which is called the create operations. So to display data from MySQL database server using PHP, we need to use 2 main functions, MySQL I query and MySQL I fetch array function. MySQL I query performs or executes the query on the given database, and the MySQL I fetch array function is used to fetch a row as an associative, numeric array, or post from the result set. MySQL I query function takes 3 parameters: the connection string, the query string, and the result mode. The result mode is an optional argument, and its default is the constant MySQL I store result, and you can use MySQL I use result if we have to retrieve a large amount of data. MySQL I fetch array function takes 2 parameters. Result comes from the MySQL I query as an array, and the result type. The result type is an optional parameter using for indicating what type of array should be produced from the current raw data. And the possible values for this parameter are the constants MySQL I associative, MySQL I number, or MySQL I post. This example retrieves the first name and the last name from the employees table and displays them as an order list on the browser. And as you see, we have used MySQL I query function for performing a select query on the employees table. Then we have used the MySQL I fetch array function for fetching data as an associative array, and then looped through each item and print it as a list item on the browser. In the same way, you can insert any record by using the insert SQL statement to MySQL I query function. And the following example shows you how can you insert any record to the employees table by using the insert SQL statement to MySQL query function. Also, in the same way, you can update an existing record by using the update SQL statement to MySQL query function. And the following example demonstrates how you can update the first name and last name for employee number 198 by using MySQL query function. But before updating the record, we need first to ensure that this record is already existing in the employees table by executing the select query statement in the MySQL query function. Then using the MySQL numRows function for returning the number of rows. If the MySQL numRows function returns a number above 0, that means this record is existing in the table, and then you can move to the rest of the code and update the record with new values. The last create operations is deleting record from the table. Deleting a record from a table is the same technique of the updating process. You need first to make sure that this record is already existing before performing a delete process. In the following example, we have deleted employee number 198 from the employees table. And again, we have first used the select query statement in MySQL query function with MySQL numRows function to ensure from existing the record before executing the delete process. I hope you enjoyed this lesson and see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check the bell icon to get a notification with any new lesson. At this time, have a great day. Thanks for watching.